There we go. What's going on, everybody? Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics, and welcome back to another indie breakdown, or rather, indie versus predictions through this 8v8 event right now. As you guys know, we are, yesterday we talked about One for All, we talked about Aegis Sector, we talked about Last Line, we talked about who else was in there, Chess. Those were the teams that were going against each other. Aegis Sector versus One for All. We had Last Line versus Chess, and then the other one that we had was the Elementals versus the Paladins. So what we're doing today is we're kind of continuing that. So this event is still running, and those matches were already decided thanks to you guys. But today we're not going to harp on that too terribly long because we spent like 2.5 hours, no more like 2 hours and 15 minutes specifically talking about that. However, it's time to go ahead and move forward and talk about today's matches. But first, what I have failed to do is share this in the group. In case anybody's watching that's not a part of the Indie Breakdown, Indie Versus group, that is a Facebook group where we get together all your favorite comic book creators and and break down their power stats and abilities kind of weekly and all the time, bring up new events and all that good stuff. Bear with me just a second. Let me officially move that over there. So that group is fully aware of what's happening. Boom, boom. Okay, that is posting. And oh goodness. Oh goodness. While I'm setting all of this up, which I should have set up already, how is everybody doing today? And do you have a favorite indie comic book character that you have yet to share with those in the group? Okay, I didn't have the YouTube live up either. So we're live on YouTube and Facebook. And anyway, without further ado, we're going to get started with this breakdown, not breakdown, but the predictions that I have for today's matchup. And really quick, not only is your opportunity to hit the like button for one team and heart for the other team, it's also going to be in the hands of the judges as well. More on that in a bit. Let's go ahead and get started with who the teams are. So first up, we have Sister Circle by Concrete Comics and Onaji Rouse. Let's dive into those powers here in a second. Of course, we have the Renegades by Alan Silverwood. So we're gonna dive into that. So them as a whole, and oh, thank goodness, it's all in one. It's all in one comment. That's perfect. We don't have to scroll and look for it. Okay. What's happening, Watson? What's going on, man? Oh, we gotta get you back in here. So today, as you guys have seen in the group, we are doing a 8v8. We had a group, three different matches yesterday. And now we've got this match here today. I think there's another one on there. We'll scroll down accordingly. But yeah, I'm giving my predictions on who I think would win. And actually, before we even dive into that, before we get started, we have Sister Circle and Renegade. So Sister Circle, if you think they would win this matchup, go ahead and put a like. Heart if you think the Renegades. And if you're unfamiliar with their powers and abilities, stuff like that, we're going to dive into that and really try to break down that type of thing. But we're looking at who is winning currently. And currently, Sister Circle is in the lead by 3 with 9 versus the Renegades with a heart there. So let's dive into those powers and stuff. Tavis, what's going on? Paige, what's going on? All right, everybody coming back to from yesterday. What's going on, everybody? So, of course, we're giving my predictions. But before I give my prediction of who I think would win, we're going to dive into the powers and talk more about them. So we're going to start with Sister Circle here. One, because they're first. And two, it's right here. So Sister Circle X is a team of 6 black female superheroes coming together under the goddess Lady Ma'at, who gathered the team to track down the 5 hybrids that escaped the gates of purgatory while at the battle of Jebel Barkal. I think I said that right. Lady Ma'at, the goddess of balance and harmony, decided to form the team since she is limited to what she can do when it comes to the affairs of the mortal world due to the God Pact. The God Pact was an agreement that the remaining gods on Earth created after the banishment of the hybrids from the Earth plane, that all the gods that chose to stay on Earth must not intervene or use their powers in the affairs of the humans. Since Lady Ma'at is still tied to the agreement, she brought a team of highly trained female super soldiers or superheroes together under her guidance. So that's what they do as a whole, which if you guys aren't caught up on Odina, y'all need to, because that's a freaking awesome story. And I see Kandaki's in the background there too, so definitely check that out as well. There's some powerhouses here. We can already say that off rip. There are some serious powerhouses here. So Lady Ma'at, starting from the top here, the goddess with her guidance and knowledge of the world, Ma'at will be the lady's point of command and go to for everything they need to know on the rogue hybrids. Although she's powerful, she is limited to using her power to help the women in any event to the God Pact. Yeah, so she can't really get too terribly involved. I guess she just kind of gives them instructions, like I said. She struggles with wanting to do more for the world, but can't. What the girls don't know is that Ma'at's true intention is to locate the God Pack seal and destroy it, allowing her to fully use her godlike power. Okay, let's see. Uh-oh, there's gonna be a slight problem. I'm looking here. Okay, no, I do see some abilities in here. I was gonna say if it's not more than a bio, then we're gonna have to revert to what we know about them in their various stories. Um, which is gonna make it a little bit more difficult, but that's okay. She can still use her powers. Oh, now she's in here. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. So if we have any questions, we're diverting any potential. I know a lot about this series for sure. Big fan of it, but some of the nuances and stuff like that, it'll be perfect since Anaji is here to dive into that a little bit. Perfect. What's going on, man? So Sister Asima, the demon, the former assassin and and former member of the Daughters of Sekhmet, also known as the Demon. Asima is imbued with the heart of the Black Lion, which grants her superhuman abilities. She is one of the most dangerous women known to walk the earth, and is highly skilled fighter, tacticianist, and strategist. Not much is known about Asima. What she doesn't say in words, she definitely makes up for in action. And she eventually begins to develop a friendship with Sister Sledge and kind of takes under her belt. She eventually learns to become a field commander for the team. Next, we've got Layla, the angel born. She's born a hybrid from an angel and a human. Layla possesses great divine powers and is probably second to Ma as far as in power. The only thing is Layla doesn't know the full extent of her powers due to memory loss at times. Okay, not much is known about her upbringing, other than she can be very pompous and arrogant at times, and it makes her unbearable to be around sometimes. Layla uses this as this excuse to push people away and not get close because it makes her unsure of what really lies ahead of her. She finds that being part of a team is actually what she needs as she deals with the trauma and burden of powers. Next, we have Eclipse. John Ballard, welcome. Asima's blade is made from mystical metal that can cut through anything. Okay, yeah, so that's going to be a problem for sure. Okay, yeah. I'm going to be asking you some questions about them just in regards to feats and abilities, specifically like how strong is this hybrid of a angel and human. What is she benching? What is she punching? That kind of situation, kind of a mini version of the interview thing situation. Next we've got Eclipse. Eclipse is genetically gifted human, aka a mutant, born with the ability of photokinesis. She joins the lady with hopes of learning on how to work more with women. Her tendency to do more than her share of things makes her seem eager and overly ambitious, whereas it can be where she can be taken wrong when at the heart of it. Excuse me. She just wants. I lost my place. I'm so sorry. She just wants to do her best at no matter what. And she needs that validation of being like, being liked by others. Her ambitious, enthusiastic demeanor is what keeps women going in the long haul. And again, like I said yesterday, if I'm reading too fast or it sounds jumbled up or anything of that nature, please head over to this post. Go ahead and read it for yourself and go from there. She's as strong as an Asgardian. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So there we go. So far, y'all heard it. Eclipse is as no, not Eclipse. I'm sorry. Layla is as strong as an Asgardian if we're going to put it in comparison to anything in mainstream, okay? And if she's the second strongest, now we know where the bar is, right? So we have Lady Ma'at, who would exceed characters like Odin, again, putting that comparison with mainstream, with Layla being just under that, and now we can kind of start scaling from there as well if you guys need that kind of those reference points. Now, Sister Sledge was mentioned a little while ago, so jumping into Sister Sledge, Marissa Ortiz is the youngest of the group. She's Afro-Latina of Puerto Rican descent. Born and raised in Miami, Florida, she's also a genetically gifted human with the ability, with a genius level intellect. Okay, she is the inventor and weapons expert of the group. And even though she is the smartest of the group, Marissa has self-doubt of herself at times, which causes her to be even harder on herself. She was always a wallflower growing up because she got teased of how she talked, how she looked, her coily hair, her body weight. She works out constantly and created a weapon for herself for battle. She begins to have admiration and respect for Sister Asima, and the two develop a friendship, and she looks at her as a big sister. Okay. And then we've got Sai. Celie Adamson is also a genetically gifted human with telepathic powers. She's the eyes of the group because of her ability to see the world with her psychic powers, which defeats the purpose because Celie is blind by nature. Oh, okay. That's this one right here, right? Let me see. I lost my spot. Because of her ability to see the world with her. Okay, yeah. So she is the eyes of the group because of her ability to see the world with her psychic powers, which defeats the purpose because Celie is blind by nature. It makes it so where she does not need her eyes to see, but with her mind, she's skilled. She's a skilled combatant, even due to the nature of her handicap, and also flies the team's hovercraft at times. That's Sister Sledge designed especially for her. She is proud and doesn't want anyone to feel sorry for her. And then now Odina and Kandaki's information not included on this breakdown, but if it's the full team, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we missing somebody on here? I guess Ma'at, right? She's not on there because that's Sister Seema. That's Sister Sledge. That's Celie. I think that's Eclipse. Wait, I messed up. Oh no, and that's Layla. Oh gosh. No, wait. I got somebody mixed up. No, I didn't. Yeah. Odina Kandaki, Celie Eclipse, Sister Seema. Yeah, Sister Sledge, and then Layla. Okay, it's the full team. That's the squad. Sai is not up there. Okay, cool. Sai is not up there. Then wait. Okay. I don't know why I thought that was her right there. I'm bugging. So of course we've got Kandaki, who is a oh my gosh, she's like a warrior queen, if you would. So she's oh gosh, I don't know how to, I don't want to screw this up. Very proficient in battle, probably one of the strongest or most capable in battle. Correct me if I'm wrong. In comparison, and she would be considered a hybrid, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that is a rung above. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. She would be a rung above genetically gifted humans and be somewhere just above Odina or on par with Odina. So I think in order of hierarchy, what would that be? Would that be Lady Ma'at, Sister Asima, Odina and Kandaki kind of interchangeable right there? She's a demigod. Boom. Okay. I kind of remember things when I need to. So, yeah, one of the fiercest warriors that's going to be on this list. Very, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, one of the fiercest warriors. She's got access to those two blades. And if she's stronger than Odina, I do know for sure is leveling mountain. She's able to survive planetary shattering strikes from Lady T, who's the main antagonist, as far as up to where we're at now in issue 5 of Odina. So yeah, I think we have this team has got to come with something heavy. Talking about the Renegades here, I don't know anything about them, so I'll be learning about them at the same time as you guys. However, I have read Sister Circle. Odina is my favorite Concrete Comics character, so I know for a fact she's going to be a problem even just by her lonesome. But this team is definitely a group of heavy hitters. So let's just jump right into the Renegades really quick. And if we have any further questions as it relates, yeah, they're both demigods. So yeah, they're both. I would venture to say, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I would venture to say that Kandaki at this point anyway is definitely more fearsome and more capable in sense of battle IQ, I guess, because she's been doing it longer and got more experience, stuff like that. Odina is still, she's getting that training right now, but Kandaki still has that more of a tenure in comparison. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess that's more of a personal opinion on that. But yeah, between the two of them alone, the Renegades really got to come with something. And again, with Sister Seema in the background as well, that's going to be they're kind of in trouble. But let's stop assuming. Let's go ahead and get yes. Okay, hell yeah. Okay, bet. So the Renegade stats. All right, for the investigators from SPIs among us. First all of them possess a superpowered level of strength, speed, agility, and endurance, resilience, resistance. SPIs have these qualities beyond normal humans as a baseline. And again, just already reading this off of rip, my ask for everybody that joins into these matches, if possible, I want to know, and again, I haven't read the characters yet, but what I want to know from now on these things is what is that level of strength? Of course, Tavis does have the power scaling list and stuff like that, so we can go ahead and compare and contrast via the numbers and stuff like that. Because super strength can be anything, right? It can be they can lift up a car, to they can lift an entire planet. You know what I'm saying? What is that? What is that strength level at? That's what I want to know. Anybody that is interested in jumping in on these, That's the kind of stuff we want to know. We want to know the specifics and everything they can do, yada, yada, yada. Let's go ahead and jump in. We've got the Black Ghost first. He's got dark matter density manipulation. He can become intangible, or excuse me, he can become an intangible shadow and pass through anything. And he can also become the hardest substance there is. He can do this with any part of himself, so he can reach into an enemy, solidify his hand, and rip out organs. As he does this, his body can remain intangible, or he can be completely silent, and he only turns his hand intangible. I like that. Because a lot of the times, yeah, you usually see like their whole body is doing it, or that's it, nothing. We've got Wild Swan, flies at high speeds, carries 2 stun sticks with 3 settings: tickle, ouch, and good night. I like that. Despite looking like a lovely angel, she cusses, drinks, smokes cigars, and cheats at poker. We've got Wind Spinner. Using her arms, she is able to whip the air into wind cyclones. I'm sorry, wind cones, which I guess same thing, right? But that allows her to maneuver in the air, but she can also hit you with them like solid force, or she can snag you with them and hurl you great distances and against objects. Next up, we've got Fortress, transform into a fortified castle. Wait, what? Transforms into a fortified castle wall type of appearance. Interesting. Okay. With great strength, resistance, and also enlarges to about 9 feet tall. So, like, does he actually transform into a fortified castle wall type of appearance? That is interesting. So, like, he just, I'm a wall now type situation. Is that what is it? Is that what it is? If Alan Silverwood is in here, Asima is Captain America level. Okay. Okay. So to revert back, okay, cool. Honestly, I don't know why I thought she was stronger than that, but I guess her proficiency in combat, and she had a whole squad way back when, if I remember you telling me that, right? That was the Sisters of Segment and stuff like that. They were kind of a highly elite squad and all that other stuff. So wait a second, is Sister Asima then would not be stronger than Kandaki or Adina? She's just more capable than Kandaki and more capable than Odina. Excuse me. Wait, no. Asima was a part of somebody's royal guard or something like that, right? Or they were like the Dora Milaje or the whatever. Oh goodness, my thoughts are no. She's just as skilled as Kandaki. Okay, she's just as skilled but not as strong. I hope I'm not botching that up. We'll dive back into the specifics here in a second. I did get thrown up by Fortress for about 2 seconds. Daughters of Sekhmet, thank you. The point, that character fires arrows with stun gun tips. Okay. These tips are also sharp, and he can not only control the arrow's direction after it leaves his bow, it can control exactly how hard or light it impacts his target. He can have it hit you with just the tip, or he can sink it through your heart. I mean, you got it in quotes and everything. Lord have mercy. The pendulum summons the mystical pendulum axe. Okay, that's definitely this person here. This is like a silvery glowing energy, about the equivalent of a Green Lantern construct. It can slice through an enemy non-lethally, creating temporary damage to brain function, consciousness, etc. And it can also be used defensively to deflect power blasts and such. Last 2 coming up here, we have Streamliner. Streamliner moves at unbelievable speeds, leaving a green streamline in his wake that sustains for moments before twinkling and dissipating. He can essentially do what speedsters like Quicksilver or the Flash can do, which, again, we are making the comparisons and stuff like that, but as the dangerous thing, of course, as when we do comparisons with mainstream characters, those things change so often, right? But we're gonna keep reading because anywhere between Quicksilver and Flash, that's a lot, and especially if we talk about Wally West, that is a lot that's left open there. So I definitely want to know what exactly or how fast exactly are they going. And I guess it doesn't really matter because we have recent comics like in DC where Catwoman is reacting to 3 members of the Flash family and encountering and knocking them on their behinds, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. And then I think there was one panel I remember seeing where Batman was able to catch reverse flash with a batarang to the foot, stabbing him in his foot. And I'm just like, there's no freaking way this should happen. That's a whole tangent. Not going to stay on that. Let's move on to the final character of the Renegades. That's General Justice, who wields the mighty golden gavel, which has the force of justice beyond just his own strength and the strength of its material. Anyone with unresolved shady deeds, even if good guys, suffer additional damage from its impact. That's crazy. Right, dumbest thing ever, dude. Like, really? Really? Catwoman is catching all three flashes. She kicked one, punched the other. Like, it's just like, wait, how in the world is this even a thing? And then again, going back to Batman stabbing folks in the foot, but that's just crazy. That's dead. Hold on, yo. Yeah, that is ridiculous. So now we're gonna dive in a little bit more into the matchups. We live moment. I'm gonna jump on. I sent the link. I'm sorry, y'all. So that was everybody's bios and a little bit about their abilities and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, son. I'm gonna tell you right now. At the moment, and it might feel like there's slight bias here. Forgive me. But at the moment, I got to go with Sister Circle, right? Because I think I'm just going through like Wild Swan. There's nothing that tells me that she has enough power output to really do any damage to any of the ladies up here, right? I'm not getting Captain America levels of strength from her, right? I'm not, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna put her against anybody, well, obviously, I guess I would probably put her against Layla since she's a half angel, half human mix, and this and she's roaming around with the wings and got the baton sticks and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, I'll place them there, but she possesses great divine powers and is probably second to my as far as in power. So that's a mismatch. This team might be a mismatch. So I think again, all characters in play. I think easily Layla is going to go ahead and she's going to be dropping Wild Swan. And obviously, and why I'm pitting some of these characters against each other is just in regards to how their abilities can be similar or anything of that nature. Like, we might as well just place them. So, with that being said, I would probably put the Pendulum versus Sister Sledge, both with their items equipped and all that other good stuff. So, the Mystical Pendulum Axe, just reading that again for him. It's like a silverly glowing energy, about the equivalent of a Green Lantern construct. Onaji, since you're here, I'm reading his. I want to know, what is Sister Sledge strength-wise, and does she have what it takes to potentially break through a Green Lantern construct? What is the heaviest she's hitting? And if anybody knows or can get Alan to jump in, that'd be perfect as well. But Onaji, if you're still here, we definitely want to know, what are the upper reaches of Sister Sledge's strength? But yeah, he can slice through an enemy non-lethally, creating temporary damage to brain function, consciousness, etc. He can also be used defensively to deflect power blasts and such. And I don't think she has any blasts or anything of that nature. This one could be a toss-up, right? This one can go either way, because she's not a hybrid or anything of that nature. So there's no extra edge, if you would, and she's kind of, again, like I said, she's the inventor and weapons expert and all this other stuff. This can go either way. She's an athletic strength, but her hammer has sonic pulse that operates as a blast. Okay, noted. What? Okay. I would then have to say, because she doesn't have any added strength, and she doesn't have, and even with that sonic pulse that acts as a blast, this weapon specifically is able to deflect power blasts and whatnot. And I don't see that she has any defenses against his essentially brain damaging attack, right? So I think at the moment we're looking at a 1-1 now, right? So at the moment, Layla defeats Wild Swan, but Pendulum defeats Sister Sledge, right? So we're tied up at the moment as it relates to that. Again, these are my predictions. Y'all let me know what y'all think of these matches. And of course, head to this post specifically in the Indie Breakdown Indie Versus group. There it is right there. If you got it's Indie Breakdown /versus. So come on through, add your vote in there. Again, of course, the 3 judges are also going to be part of this, but like for Sister Circle, heart for Renegades on that post, not this video, but on that post specifically. All right. So Next matchup we're going to do. Next match is shut up, Tasha. Shut up. We have, who do I want to see fight next? Let's go. Let me scroll back down. Let's see. There you are, Renegade stats. Let's see. I would pit. Who would I have Wind Spinner fight? Wind Spinner. I feel like I would have. Tell me more about Eclipse. Right quick. Photokinesis. So that's light, actually. Actually, who had light constructs? She did, but who's the equivalent of that on the team? Man, I don't know about the Fortress, bro. I'm sorry. I'm looking at, but you know what? Sorry, kid in the background. Guys, unfortunately, this is a wash from this point on. Once we figure out who's going against the Black Ghost, from that moment on, because yeah, with him being able, he's dangerous because yeah, he's able to just go intangible and all this other stuff. Okay, how the battle goes, right? And again, this is one potential scenario in a million what ifs that can happen. But I feel like Layla is dropping Wild Swan so quickly that she's able to back somebody else up. And I feel like the same thing could kind of happen with Sister Sledge versus the Pendulum guy. I feel like that battle would go on for a little while longer. So Layla would be able to back somebody up, but I don't know Black Ghost battle proficiency. That's the only thing. Like, obviously, he's good enough to control every kind of portion and section of his body, like Muriel or something, right? But let's look at everybody else really quick. But he's the one that could really tip the scale for the Renegades, in my personal opinion. Fortress is out of there. It doesn't matter who goes against him. He's out of there. So I think one of the heavier I feel like Kandaki or Odin is just going to run up and just bam, knock this guy out. Because he only turns into like, oh, you're a strong guy. Let me go ahead and don't. I feel like Odina would be the one. This is like, this guy thinks he's strong. Bam, knock him out the end. The point fires arrows with stun tips. Oh my gosh. I feel like Sister Asima. Again, here's what makes it tough. And I forgot about Streamliner. The two characters that I'm honestly worried about is Streamliner and Black Ghost. Even General Justice, I'm not worried about because with the whole thing with the Golden Gavel, we've seen something similar in the case with Lady T. Lady T's got that axe. And again, we talked about the fact that axe, and you can check out the, little plug here. You guys go ahead and check out the Indie Breakdown videos on YouTube, right? And so when you go over there, you'll be able to see the breakdown of Odina. You can watch the interview, or you can visit our How Strong Is section, look up How Strong Is Odina, and there's your short version of the breakdown, and you can see the levels of strength that she was withstanding. And yeah, although Odina was completely outclassed, she didn't leave with broken bones and all this other stuff. Like, she got her tail whooped. But she was not you in the background. But like, she didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't like battered and bruised. You know what I mean? Like, her ego was bruised more than anything else. So with that being said, I really don't think, physically anyway, General Justice is really going to do too much damage. And it says anyone with unresolved shady deeds, even if good guys, suffer additional damage from its impact. And my thing is, for all of these characters, I don't think anybody has unresolved shady deeds unless there's something that we don't know about the character. At some point, the phaser goes tangible, right? Yeah, exactly. And so that's when he does. That's going to be like, if he reaches in or he goes inside of somebody, he can just consistently stay in either state, right? So it's just kind of like, what can they withstand from somebody that is able to phase into them? And can he do it to everybody at once? Like, how what's the level of extent? How long can he do this? Literally, Although I said he could probably just do that indefinitely. We don't know that for sure, but we'll play it as such. But he's not doing it to multiple people at the same time, right? Nobody's getting caught off guard like that. We have a lot of characters on the Sister Circle team that are experienced fighters. They didn't just start doing this yesterday. They're very like Kendaki and Sister Asim have been around for a long time. And then with Layla having divine abilities, I feel like even her biological makeup could be a little bit different, right? To where would that work on an angelic being, right? So that's a toss up. So again, we'll leave him behind. But I guess I'd want to know how fast are the characters in Sister Circle. I know Odina's pretty quick, but I want to know is anybody moving at speeds like Quicksilver or the Flash or somewhere in between. If you can let us know that. But even still, their durability, right? Thank you. The problem is Streamliner doesn't have anything in their arsenal that's going to do any real damage to these characters. Now, one can argue if they are able to move at the same levels of speed as the Flash, and then they're running around and said, "This ain't their first rodeo. This ain't right. This ain't their first rodeo at all." He said, "This ain't their first goddamn rodeo at all." That's what he said. Eclipse can move at the speed of light. Okay, there we go. There we go. And again, we have to take it with a grain of salt if we don't know the exact thing. And again, just to reiterate this again, when we do these matches, this is your opportunity to give us every single detail that you want about these characters and how they would win these versus matches, right? If you say that they're fast like Quicksilver or the Flash, I want to know how fast is that exactly? You know what I'm saying? Are they running so fast that they're able to vibrate into a whole nother universe? Are they moving faster than, how fast, right? Give me some comparisons in universe, and something a little bit more direct or what have you, if possible. If possible. Well, obviously, we don't want spoilers or anything of that nature, but we definitely want to know, like, hey, Odina, is she leveling mountains or is she leveling planets and moons, right? I want to know what we got. Again, we did the breakdown of her, so we definitely know the upper reaches of her strength. But then we talked about her durability. She was able to get up and walk off and was up talking trash or really, well, we're kind of fuming from her battle and was back in action and training not too long after dealing with planetary destruction levels of force, right? So we were able to see some very, very specific feats, abilities, and powers. So that's what I want when we're doing these. So anyway, with that being said, there's nothing from what we got here that lets us know that Streamliner has any move in their arsenal that is going to do any damage to any of these characters. So if she ended up going against somebody like Sister Seema, I can see how she would be annoying for a little while, right? I almost imagine with quite a few of these characters, we would see like an Omni-Man situation when he was going against, what was his name? Red Rush, right? And he's punching, and yeah, she might bruise them. She might do a little bit of damage and stuff like that. However, it's mostly going to be a nuisance, right? And I imagine Streamliner would most likely, I don't know why I keep saying her, Streamliner, he would, I almost imagine more of a exactly like if we're going to use the Red Rush example, more than likely the person that's kind of backing everybody up, especially if Layla drops Wild Swan as fast as I predict, in an actual matchup. I feel like that would be kind of be the case, and then again, Pendulum Guy's going to drop Sister Sledge, so kind of evens back out. But the problem with Streamliner keeping everybody off guard and stuff. But Anaji brought up a great point that Eclipse does move also at the speed of light. So that's already going to be a problem, which I assume, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, Quicksilver doesn't move at the speed of light. No. So if that's the case, she moves faster than Quicksilver. So if Streamliner moves anywhere less than the Flash, if he does, he moves near light speed. She moves at light speed. So with that being said, if Streamliner is anything less than Flash, that means Eclipse is catching her. Eclipse is able to perceive her, and Eclipse will be able to drop her. So with that being said, Streamliner's out of there. The only person again that I'm worried about, the only person I'm worried about really is Black Ghost. That's the only one I'm worried about. Exactly. Yeah, Quicksilver's not as fast as the Flash, like at all. No. So here we are so far. Matches. Sister Sledge loses the Pendulum. Wild Swan loses to Layla, right? 1-1. Layla is going to defeat Layla, not Layla, I'm sorry. Eclipse defeats Streamliner. What'd you say? He moves at the speed of sound. Oh, hell no. Yeah, he's done. But yeah, so it's 2 for Sister Circle, 1 for the Renegades. Fortress, I feel like it's more like the Colossus of the team, right? Again, talking about the fact that they are able to, their appearance just kind of turns into like of a fortress wall. A castle wall, right? So olden times type armor and stuff like that. And that's not like the latest in armor and stuff like that. So again, any one of these characters, I'm not gonna say any one of these characters, but between Odina and Kandaki, definitely are gonna be able to break through that. And one could argue that Sister Seema at cap levels of strength could break through that, or at least, knock her on her behind. So with that being said, Fortress is down. We've got, who did I say? Pendulum is the only one that has won his match from the Renegades thus far, right? Then we have Wind Spinner, right? So wind cones and stuff like that. I would put I'm nope. There's no, all of these characters can withstand that. All of these characters can withstand that. So there's no, I'm sorry. Wind Spinner's out of there. That's 4 for Sister Circle. The point is a regular person. The point's a regular person. There's nobody on here that's just a regular person. The point's a regular person with arrows. So they're out of there. And then again, last but not least, we're down to Black Ghost. And General Justice. But again, although he's probably the heaviest hitter of the crew, the Sister Circle has dealt with Blast or people on a higher caliber of that. So who's left standing on the Renegades right now? Again, it's only 3 of them versus the whole squad, save for Sister Sledge. So are those 3 in the Renegades enough to take on the entirety of Sister Circle? Again, the 3 that's left on the Renegades in regards to this particular kind of scenario, and give me your thoughts. Ask these questions and stuff in the thing, and we'll kind of just talk through it. But Black Ghost with dark matter density manipulation, he could become an intangible shadow. Just rereading this, he could become an intangible shadow and pass through anything, and he can also become the hardest substance there is. He can do this. Now, I do want to know what exactly is the hardest substance there is, right? He can do this with any part of himself. So he can reach into an enemy, solidify his hand, and rip out their organs. As he does this, his body can remain intangible, or he could be completely solid and he only turns his head. You know who's countering that, actually? Although I guess he's intangible, not invisible, but regardless, the blind girl would be able to, Sai would be able to help them out and let them know where he is, because she would use her mind's eye to be able to detect him and figure out exactly what he's doing, because she'd be able to sense the surroundings around everybody. Say again, dear. Huh? Now that's the hard part. How would they hit him? But yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. That's goodness. That's why we need Alan. Yeah. But at the very least, they would be able to avoid him and stuff like that. And she would be able to, again, he wouldn't be able to sneak attack anybody. She would be able to let them know about that. So we'll come back to him to figure out how to defeat Black Ghost. But we know how to avoid him now, right? Let's see. So going back down to Pendulum is still up. We have the Mystical Pendulum Axe. Again, this is like a silvery glowing energy. That's this guy right here. And it's about the equivalent of a Green Lantern construct. It can slice through an enemy non-lethally, creating temporary damage to brain function, consciousness, etc. It can also be used defensively to deflect power blasts and such. Once Sister Sledge gets hit with that, they're going to be like, oh, we can't get hit by that. Hold on, is she all right? Right? So that kind of surprise is out of the bag in that sense. But who is able to withstand Green Lantern constructs? Now we got to try to figure out, engage, how strong are those constructs? Because man, who's a character that's able to punch through that, and besides Superman? Um, Black Adam. Black Adam's strong enough to do that. And when I would argue that Wonder Woman is strong as, if not stronger than, Black Adam. And if we can go with that comparison, I would venture to say that either Kendaki or Odina would be able to punch through that construct and not worry about it. If we're talking about just blow for blow with that. Could phasing through someone leave pieces of himself behind, like a reverse essence event, or could he possess anyone? No, that's unfortunately not what it says. It's just that he's intangible. So we got to treat it like Vision, right? Where it's like he can go intangible, and but the difference is he could just have a part of him go solid, stuff like that. But no, as far as the information that we've been provided, he can't leave pieces of him behind unless, say, he somehow cut a piece off and then solidified a finger or something in somebody's brain or something and then do it that way. But no, not in regards to the information that we've been provided. And yet again, he wouldn't be able to possess anybody. He's just all him the whole time and not able to take over. Now, if he solidified his entire body inside of somebody, it'd be like what was Shang Tsung's fatality on whichever Mortal Kombat that was, 11, and he turned into Kintaro. And the hammer, that one of the characters, everyone had his regrets and dark dealings left in their past. So would they be immune to such an intrinsic weakness? Again, that's if they had, although that's if they have any unresolved shady deeds. And so as far as we know about these characters, and again, maybe missing a comma or anything of that nature, but if it's just unresolved shady deeds, none of these characters, as far as we've read about them in Sister Circle, Odina, or Kendaki, have any shady goings-ons, right? So they're not taking any additional damage. But again, would shady deeds add so much damage to his strikes that it would be equivalent to planet-busting attacks? Because based on, again, the events of Odina 3, 3 onward, you're talking about them facing against a force and weaponry that are planet shattering, and they're walking away. So I don't think the General Justice is attacking with that type of force at all, as far as the information that we've been provided. Yeah. So he's as far as we know, he's not reaching that upper echelon of strength. So, battle of attrition, I guess. But at the same time, again, we don't know how strong his body is, but they're trading blows with Planet Busters regularly. So I venture to say he's out of there. Again, we got somebody that can literally break through Green Lantern constructs if we do a mainstream comparison. So that only leaves the biggest question, with everybody still up, save for Sister Sledge at this point in time. How do they defeat Black Ghost? Or would Black Ghost try to strategically retreat and get his team out of there? Which, of course, regardless, would also, be a loss, right, for the squad. But what is his thought process? Again, I can't really dive into that too much because we don't freaking know. But anybody in the chat, and Anaji, if you're still in here, what is Sister Circle's reaction and first? They see he goes intangible. What is their plan of action? Now, what I will say, interestingly enough, is we don't know what his perception is. And with Eclipse moving at the speed of light, if he's not able to perceive that, between Psi-Eye and Eclipse, they could defeat him because Psi-Eye could see when he's about to strike. Psi-Eye can see the very moment that he decides to solidify himself. And with Eclipse moving at the speed of light, and my assumption, of course, with any character that's able to move at the speed of light, they're able to perceive at those levels of speed as well, meaning as he's doing it, he's not going to realize that she's already on him. Boom. Let's say he just does his hand, she can break his hand, she can break his fingers, whatever the case may be. And who knows in that moment of panic if he would solidify himself or if he's just that damn cool that he's like, nah, well, that's broken, but it's not going to cause me to lose my focus and turn the rest of my body back tangible. However, these characters are able to perceive him in mere instances. So does anybody have any pushback or points of contention with that? with that logic? Because if not, then in my personal opinion, the overwhelming victory has to go to Sister Circle. And I'm gonna review these comments and stuff really quick. What'd you say? Mm-hmm. Now, where do you see this at? On the post? Okay, Black Ghost is connected to dark matter and can be intangible. So hypothetically, could he expand as dark matter does? Unfortunately, based on the information that we've been provided, there's not really any information that gives us anything of that sort. Just he could become an intangible shadow and pass through anything, and he can also become the hardest substance there is. Now, and he can do this with any part of himself, so he can reach into an enemy, solidify his hand, and rip out organs. Is his first move to become the hardest substance, or is that just something that he can possibly do, right? Or he can completely solidify and he only turns his hand intangible. Okay, so here's the comment from the post. Okay, as soon as she gets the go-ahead, she's phasing through him. Oh, wait, who can phase through? Wait, I missed something. Hold on. What character could phase through? Anaji? Here's the comment here. As but dark matter is part of the Black Ghost, he would take out a photonic based foe immediately. Eclipses out. The pendulum wields a mystical axe created by unknown forces to prevent imbalances in power structure. So it works versus foes of good or evil. Okay. It would be especially strong against an overpowered team of mystic foes, which they're not necessarily mystic. So such as this, to take down the point, you have to get close to synergize the arrows and control of them past. Losing them, he's gonna pick off at least one of them. In her light form. Oh, Eclipse has a light form. It's done. So again, these matchups, what I want you guys to think about, right? It's a random encounter. The information that we know, right? This is this is a complete random encounter, right? So, and when we talked about this yesterday with chess versus the last line, right? 9 times out of 10, if you're going to put like a regular squad together, like obviously I'm not putting chess into a battle like this. However, if you're putting the chess team against, say, let's say we had the ground level concrete characters, right? You had Deja Vu, you had Watchmen, throw in Organic Chrissy. Hell, I would even throw in Zuriel for all you care, right? Because she's a regular person at the same time. The team of chess is not just going to go in blindly. They're doing recon. They're doing prep work, weeks, months of recon, making sure they know every possible aspect of this person. And when they strike, like it's a complete optimal efficiency, right? So, that's prep time. That's all of that stuff. Everybody using their abilities to the best of their ability. And so with that being said, they could have won that battle against Last Line yesterday if they had that. However, these matches are random encounter. Boom, whatever reason, conflict ensues right then and there. We know nothing of each other, right? And usually when we see that in most pieces of media, a lot of these characters go against kind of like-minded or like similar people and stuff like that. So that's why I said Layla, who's an angel, half human, would fight against Wild Swan because, okay, the wings, right? It's like, oh, it looks kind of angelic. Okay, yeah, cool. That's why I said Sister Sledge going against the guy with the pendulum and stuff like that, right? So on and so forth, right? So again, it's random encounter. And with that being said, and I didn't realize that that Eclipse can kind of can phase in and out of folks. That means then, yeah, Eclipse would have to go against Dark Ghost, Black Ghost. So just going back to that comment, as Dark Matter is part of the Black Ghost, he would take out a photonic base foe immediately. But I want to know, if possible, if anybody isn't here that can dive into that. I know when it came down to my vote was based simply of that, the abilities that were presented exactly, which is fine. Like, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's random encounter. In case we don't know, it's a random encounter. And yeah, That's my prediction. I don't want to harp or linger on that too terribly much. It's random encounter. I want to know how he's going to take her out, right? How is he going to drop her with Dark Matter? Again, I don't think Alan is here to kind of argue against the point or dive a little bit deeper into those powers. Yeah. Right. Because even in this, my concern is. Yeah. So anyway, this is good. These are good. I don't know if the other match has been posted yet. But for the time being, y'all just seeing me scroll through this whole thing really quick. This group get busy. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's yesterday's live. So the other matches aren't up yet, but expect to see some more matches tomorrow. But at the moment, my money would definitely be on Sister Circle. Again, like if you think Sister Circle wins this, heart if you think the Renegades win this. And currently, still, Sister Circle is in the lead by 3. It is 9v6 at the moment. Let's see. And this is how it started right here. This is how it started right here. They posted these characters. So again, if who tried to fight these characters? That's the anyway. That's a whole side conversation. But tomorrow, be on the lookout. We're gonna have some more matches up. Let us know, and of course, drop it on here. Let us know who you think would win. Right. I'm about to get out of here, but a couple last housekeeping things before I go. Season 3 of Indie Breakdown is coming soon. We have 6 awesome interviews already done, with several more getting worked on as we speak. And then that'll be done. We have the Avora Lee versus Jupiter Man coming out really soon. That was season 2's Indie versus official matchup. So the scenario and my verdict on who would win that matchup will be included. We'll have a video on all the good stuff, so we'll post that here soon. Final Pages of Soul is done, so be on the lookout for that. We still plan on Soul dropping this summer, so be on the lookout for that. We're still determining on how we're going to do the pre-order event, but as soon as we figure that out, well, you guys will be the first to know as long as you're on the mailing list. Speaking of the mailing list and Soul, if you sign up for the mailing list at midnightcomics.org, you can get a free book. That free book being Soul #1. So go ahead and get your digital copy of Soul #1 today. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Leave a review. All that other good stuff. The Unbeloved, the Kickstarter orders have been sent out. So as long as you did the survey. So if you did the survey, all that good stuff, you should have received your digitals by now. And you should have received your individual books as well. The volumes are still en route. There's 3 of those that's going out. All of the rest of the books, however, have been sent out. So be on the lookout for that. The Gray #2 is waiting on the cover. So that's done as well. So that is going to be late 2024. We are going to be pushing back God Hand. I said that last night, but I figured I'd let you guys know that now. We're pushing back God Hand just because there's a little bit of a delay in the completion of that. However, as promised, you guys already got Unbeloved, and you will be getting Soul and the Gray. More information on all these stories coming really soon. Last but not least, we are going to several conventions. We are lined up to be at Brooklyn Comic-Con. Nope, first, we are going to MomoCon next weekend. We're not vending, however, we will be on a panel with Nerdy Bear Studios, and several other awesome creators at MomoCon Saturday at 4. So be on the lookout for that, all the promo and stuff like that. We'll mostly be on Nerdy Bear. Of course, we'll be sharing it accordingly as well. Then next month, we're going to be at Brooklyn Comic-Con. Lord willing, we are locked in for Brooklyn Comic-Con, so definitely check us out there. Lord willing, we're also going to be able to hit Ranger Stop and Pop, which is next month as well. And then after that, we will be going to BlurredCon. So definitely, if you guys want to check us out at any of those places, definitely head on over there. And I think that's all I got for now. Of course, again, I can't stress enough. Head on over to midnightcomics.org, get your free book, join the mailing list, and check out all the awesome stories that we have going on over there. And I can't wait to share so much more with you guys. But until next time, everybody, remember, midnight is coming. I'll see you later.